Congratulations on getting hired to the Zeta Medical Corporation. I'm Dr. Undead Nicomancer, and I'm going to give you a guide to the Zeta Medical Corporation occupations. But in all seriousness, no, this is going to be a beginner's guide to Blacksite Zeta, the amazing fun game that I love to play from time to time. Also, if you want to stay tuned for what I recommend that you spend all of your in-game credits on, stay tuned for that later in the video. Hi, so you're wondering why you're looking at a black screen. So this is editing Nicomancer. Yeah. So one thing I forgot to talk about in this video is that if you're a patient and you kill enough guys, you can actually unlock hostile forces for a little period of time. That's why later in the video you're gonna hear me say, oh, I'll talk about how you can become hostile forces later. But yeah, that's how. Also hostile forces, if you want to play on it like legitimately and actually play on it like you have it as an unlocked team, just get the Game Pass. Same with Facility Director, okay? More information on my Game Pass video. But anyways, let's go ahead and head back right to the video now. I'm sorry I had to just put this in here because I forgot to say it in the actual video. But yeah, here you guys go. First things first, we're going to go ahead and talk about the XP levels and ranks and team limits. So first things first, when you spawn in the game, you're going to be at the lowest rank. And when you're at the lowest rank, you have to go and level up and rank up. A good, easy, fast way for you to check out your XP without having to go and complete a task is you can press the semicolon, which looks like this. If I go ahead and press that now, this bar up here shows up and it tells me how much XP I need until my next rank, and also shows me my current XP. Once I rank up, I get a new title above my head, which goes right under my username, and in some cases it unlocks future teams. But we'll get to that here in a second. Let's go ahead and talk about team limits real fast. When we go to this team tab over here, we can see that these teams all have a limit of 1. The second number is always going to be the maximum amount of players on a team. As an example, there's an infinite amount to players on the patient team, whereas all the other teams can only have 1 player on each of the teams. Now, back to what I was talking about unlocking teams. If you want to unlock a team in this game, you have to know what team unlocks that specific team. As an example, let's say you want to be SRS, the Specialized Response Squad, you have to unlock that by going through the Facility Security team. But how you unlock teams is you pretty much just play on a team, you level up and rank up and get enough XP to eventually unlock the team that you want to unlock. Now, I'm not going to tell you exactly the XP values that you have to get to unlock the teams because I don't know them all and I haven't memorized them all. But I'll quickly tell you what unlocks what. Medical Staff will unlock Zeta Labs. Medical Staff is one of the starter teams. Facility Security will unlock SRS, which Facility Security is the starter team. Technical Staff does not unlock anything. It is its own team. So when you go from Facility Security to SRS, you can go from SRS to Facility Intelligence, then Facility Intelligence to Facility Administration. That is how you would unlock Facility Administration. And obviously, like I said earlier, Medical Staff to Zeta Labs. Zeta Labs doesn't unlock anything in the future. It's just Zeta Labs. Although there have been leaks that in the future, there is going to be a team that's kind of like the middle ground between Medical Staff and Zeta Labs, so more than likely one of these two teams may unlock that. Also, in a sense, there is a small little way that patients can unlock hostile forces for a very short period of time, but we'll get into that later on in the video as well. For now, though, we're going to take a couple steps back and talk about what you can do in this game. If you hover over to the bottom right, this radio will pop up. You can use your scroll wheel to scroll through the commands, and if you left click on something, you call that on the radio. As an example there, I sent in a repair request, but I can't request it again since I already did it just a second ago, and it gives me a cooldown. And now that we're looking down at the bottom right, we can also see our tooltips down here as well, such as sprinting, jumping, crouching, and switching your shoulder. Switching your shoulder only really matters when you're using a weapon, by the way. And now that we're looking at kind of cool things like that, we can also turn off all this beautiful UI by clicking this eyeball button at the top left if we wanted to just go into cinematic mode. This is how I normally record my intros and outros. Alright, finally, now we can talk about how we gain XP and money and all that beautiful stuff, and then where we can spend some of it. This icon right here is the quests icon. If we click on that, it brings up all the quests we have on a certain team and the cooldown at the top left, which will tell us when the quest reset. So if you're doing a quest and you haven't completed it, make sure you complete it before the cooldown is over. But as an example, these are my quests that I have to do. These are the names of the quest, the task for the quest, and the reward of the quest. Once you get XP, you can rank up. Once you get money, you can spend it. And one of those places that you can spend your money on is perks, which is right below the quest icon. This is the perks icon right here. And right now there's 5 perks in the game. However, Rogue is unavailable at this time. But I recommend that you guys read through all these 4 perks that you can actually buy and decide on which ones you want to buy. Personally, if you want to be a combative, I recommend Desperado. If you want to be a technical staff or medical staff, I recommend going Ghost. A good starter one as well that's not Desperado is Tactician. However, I really like Desperado more than all the other perks. It's kind of like a cheap rogue in my opinion. Now, I'm going to go ahead and teach you guys how to play these teams. We're going to start with Facility Security. There's 2 places that you want to check and go to all the time when you're any type of combative. You can go left outside the armory, and you guys can also follow my pathing, and then you guys will get to the patient housing. That's where we're headed. You guys can go up this staircase or this elevator. They both take you to the same place, but I'm gonna take the elevator since it's less effort. Then once you're at the top of the elevator, you just come out here onto this bridge. There may be bad guys in Sector 3, but you never know. You can check that if you want to, but Sector 1 is what we care about. Over in Sector 1, this gate can open and close, but you may not be able to be one of the people to open that. So you would normally come down here and go down this hallway. Keep in mind that this leads to the storage room, and that storage room door may be open, which is this door right here. Once you keep going straight over here, you're at the bottom of the ramp for patient housing, and up here past gate A is the patient housing. Another place I recommend checking on the combative teams is you got the other door in the armory, and you can go through here. Keep in mind that you can shoot windows and break them like this. A lot of people choose to break one of these two windows right here, one of these two, because they don't want to have to wait for this door to open and close and stuff. So they normally just shoot this door and walk in and out of it. Once you break through there, you can come over here. You can go next to this like sort of crate room area and go over here. And this is called the entrance zone. One thing I recommend practicing is getting through that hole right there. I'm telling you, that may be such a small little jump, and it may be very simple, but I'm telling you right now, if you master that jump, it can save time and life. But this is the entrance zone. Here in the entrance zone, you have HF that can break through a hole right here. You have HF that can go through this vent and fight you here. And there's one other area down here as well, where the HF can come out of the vents there. HF are your bad guys. They're like the Chaos Insurgency and SCP, but keep in mind that they're just the bad guys. A quick thing to keep in mind as well is your health. Your health is this red bar right here, and if you're low, you're going to be walking slower and you're going to be wounded. So you're going to look really easy to kill. The other bar can either be blue or gray. If it's blue, it's something called resilience. It's kind of like a cheap off-brand version of armor, and gray is armor. If your armor, which is gray, gets damaged, the only way to repair that is by going to one of these armor stations, which look like this, and then you can hold E on it to repair, and then you can repair your armor. Although I will say this now, I don't remember if repairing your armor costs you money or not, but I think it does. Before I teach you guys how to play medical staff, I will say one last thing about facility security, is that your main goal and your main job is to pretty much be the security of the facility. You want to watch patient housing, and you want to watch for bad guys, and those are pretty much your main goals. Whereas medical staff, you kind of have two choices. You can choose to help the bad guys or help the good guys. If you help the bad guys, you can take armor, you'll be known as a traitor, and you can also pick up guns to fight back and stuff. So now let's go ahead and teach you guys how to play medical staff. You have the authorized tool, you have a med kit. Your authorized tool is mainly used for authorizing one person and then taking them over to the medical faculty area, going back here and going up the elevators, or staying in this area to do the x-ray testing, stuff like that. You take them so that way you can go ahead and do your medical tests and examinations on them. Whereas the med kit you can use to heal yourself by holding E on yourself, or you can go up to another player and hold E on them to heal them. And again, if you heal a patient or a hostile forces, you'll be marked as a traitor. Alright, now time to finally teach you guys how to play technical staff. With technical staff, you spawn in right here in this area, and what you do is you want to walk out and go over here and pick up a crate. You have 4 crates to choose from. This crate right here, this construction equipment, this is only used when a missile event happens. And for those of you who don't know what a missile event looks like, pretty much imagine a missile will destroy this entire middle section of the map, both up there and down here. And what you want to do is you want to take the construction supplies, go up those elevators over there, and then you want to shove the crate into the bridge up there, and you start repairing it. I think it takes like 10 crates, I believe, to fully repair it, but you get a lot of XP and money for it. The other ones are kind of more self-explanatory. There's armor plates, vendors, and vending machines. Vending machine supplies you take straight up to vending machines. Vendor supplies you take to vendors, which are NPCs. We'll get into that later on in the video as well. And armor plates you take to those armor storage machine things. I don't know what to call them, but those armor stand plates things over there, that's where you would take the crate to resupply them. Another thing that you'll get when you spawn in as a technical staff is you'll get a wrench. Mine is golden because I'm the max rank on this team. And you want to go over to these power boxes. If they look like they're broken, you'll be able to tell. Right now, this is fixed. If it looks any different than this, it's broken. And then the other thing that you can also go repair, which is highly recommended since a lot of people complain about it all the time, is these electrical panels. You can repair these electrical panels by hammering away at them as well. There's 2 more things that you can also fix as a technical staff, which I'm going to go ahead and run over to as well. This barricade right here can be damaged, and if it's broken, you can also repair it. You'll know when it's broken if it looks like a see-through yellow thing pretty much. So that's how you know when you can fix it. Another thing is that there can be a hole that's blown up in this wall right here, and you can fix that with your wrench as well. But watch out, a lot of the hostile forces will be going in and out of that hole more than likely. Now, another team that we can play as is the patient team as well. It's one of the few starting out teams as well. Right off the bat, you can pick up something like the shank on this floor right here. and you can use it if you really wanted to, but watch out, the second that you pull out a weapon on somebody, you're immediately marked and you can be shot. There's nothing really here on the patient team other than to help out medical staff by being their patients or by helping out the scientists, which are the Zeta labs, on their own testing as well. You can also go over here and play soccer or go and lift some weights if you really wanted to. One thing that you can do on both hostile forces and patient teams is shoot stuff. And what I mean by that is, you see this power box right here? If we shoot it enough times, we will be able to break it, and it will make both Gate C and Gate B start to act a little funny, as you can see here. We can also shoot out electrical panels, which will pretty much just take out the lights as well. Also, these barricades as well, we can also shoot these if we wanted to. Now we can see the health bar for it. I will say this now, though, to both hostile forces and patient players. If the hostile forces do not plan on getting a bunch of night vision goggles, there's literally no point for you guys to take out the electrical panels unless you're doing it for a quest. Because if you take it out, you're only damaging your own self and patients and hostile forces. You're just not helping out your teammates, because keep in mind that the SRS team on the corporation side, they actually spawn in with free night vision goggles, so keep that in mind. Also, patients, keep in mind that hostile forces are your friends, okay? Keep that in mind. Now we're gonna go ahead and show off this store tab right here. In the store tab, you guys can buy yourself credits for Bobucks if you really wanted to. Same with an XP boost if you want that as well. But the big thing that we want to show off here is the events tab. If we click on this, we get 2 events. There's missiles, there's heists. You can get it with Bobucks or credits. Most people just spend credits on these events. The missile event will launch a missile to the middle of the map, and you have 2 choices to survive: running outside or running to the bunker. If you don't get in there, then you die and you don't get a reward for surviving. Whereas the heist, it's kind of hard to explain where the location of it is, but the game will show you anyways where it is. And your goal here is to pretty much drill into a vault, open up the vault, take supplies and deliver it. And depending on if you are a winner or a loser, you'll still get rewards regardless. However, if you're the person who calls in the heist, you make sure that you win. Otherwise, you're not going to get your money back if you spend credits on it. There's also more things that you can buy with Robux. However, I recommend checking out my video on game passes if you guys want to know what you guys can get by buying game passes. Finally, I will go ahead and show you guys the in-game NPC vendors that you can talk to buy weapons and gadgets from. Here we have the patient vendor, which is right next to the weight room in the patient housing. Here we have the combative vendor, which is right inside the armory for both SRS and facility security spawns. And here we have the ZM Tech Gadget vendor, which sells gadgets. Can't forget to also show off the hostile forces vendor as well. By the way, the ZM Tech Gadget vendor is located across the bridge from the technical staff spawn, and it's going to be over in that area. It's basically where the Zeta Labs, facility intelligence, directors, and administrators all spawn. As an added-on note to vendors, I highly recommend that you guys check out all vendors on every team for every rank that you get on those teams, just to see if you can use those vendors at all, because I don't remember what rank or what team has access to what vendors and stuff like that. All of them are a little bit different. Now let's go ahead and talk about these vending machines real fast as well. If you go to one of these vending machines and you buy yourself a soda, it will cost you credits and it will actually give you a soda, but for whatever reason it's not giving me it right now. But the soda will be a one-time use healing item. A lot of players will actually go to these vending machines just to buy a soda and use it to heal up, so keep that in mind. You can do that as well. I highly recommend doing it. It's a very cheap item, but keep in mind that it does cost you in-game credits. Now finally, we're getting to the end of the video, so now I can tell you guys what I think you guys should buy in this game using your credits. Honestly, I would say the first things that you should buy with your credits are getting Ghost, Desperado, and Tactician. But in the order of what it would help you out the most, I would say Tactician works best on technical staff, Ghost works best on medical staff, and Desperado works best on the combative team. So whatever you play as the most, I would recommend getting all 3 of those perks nonetheless. And Brute is also really good if you want to be extra tanky or something like that too. I just personally use that one the least. But I would recommend spending your credits on those first. And then what I would spend the rest of your credits on is getting weapons from vendors permanently. Not renting them, but buying them permanently. And that is what I would spend all my credits on. I would highly recommend getting the shotgun first, by the way. That's the main thing that you would want to get. And then the other weapons are kind of like, meh, you don't really have to buy them. Like the other weapons that aren't the shotguns, you can get those ones last, I feel, with your credits. Well, that's it. Anyway, since we're getting to the end of the video, I really want to know from you guys what challenges you have for me that I can do in Blacksite Zeta. If you guys give me a good, interesting enough of a challenge, I will go out of my way to do it in one of my next videos, and I will shout you out for having such a good, funny challenge for me to do in Blacksite Zeta. So if you have a challenge for me, leave it in the comments below. That's going to be it for this video though, guys, and hopefully this was helpful to every single last one of you guys. But ultimately, I hope that you guys enjoyed as much as I enjoy making making these videos for you guys. If you guys want to see more content like this one, you guys can leave a like or a comment down below. If you guys want to see more content from me in general, you guys can subscribe. And if you guys want to get notified for I do anything on this channel, you guys can hit the notification bell. Don't forget to check out my Roblox group and community Discord server in the description below. And I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to my channel members, especially my son and Nikos. Thank you guys so very much. And without further ado, I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye!